is what it all comes down to.
There is a face. It doesn't want me, it wants you.
I once again find myself with Zak Bagans in the Haunted Museum, this time not specifically talking about the museum, but Demon House, which opens this week, and it's good to see you again.
Good to see you, Jeff.
I must say, I've seen your documentary film 3 times now, and maybe I shouldn't have done that.
3 times.
3 times.
It's an interesting number, too.
Yeah, and at the beginning of this film, there's a disclaimer that says view at your own risk. And that's why I say maybe I shouldn't have watched it so many times, but it's that compelling. Let's talk about that disclaimer. Why view at your own risk?
I don't use that as like a marketing ploy or something like that. When I first arrived to this house affect men electronically and women physically. And as I started investigating, and this was over the course of 3 years, electronic devices and could manipulate them and could travel through electricity, and it was really bizarre. But whenever I spoke about these forces, things would happen around me and others. And that's why I say, whenever I'm talking about it, whenever I was watching it, editing the film, things would happen to me, around me, and other people.
During the course of this very interview, at least the preparation for it, we've had issues with our focus and our lighting, so no surprise that here we are standing in front of the room here at the Haunted Museum where you can see artifacts collected from the Demon House, from Gary, Indiana, which you tore down. And by the way, can I just say, my mom is a very spiritual person, and she doesn't want me doing this interview. She doesn't want me here talking about this topic. And she said, why would Zak put himself in a position like that, locked inside a house?
Some glasses right now, because after I was locked in the house, I just wanted to face it myself. I saw it affect everybody else, but the day after that I got out of that house, my eyes crossed and I began seeing double vision. I immediately got back to Vegas. I went to 4 different doctors here in Las Vegas and in Los Angeles because they tested me for a possible neurological condition. This could be the onset of it. All those tests came back negative. They were people, Dr. Barry Taff, the police officers, everybody else that were affected by something through illness, bad luck, near death.
At the end of the day, though, you have to measure your quality of life versus your passion.
I do. But look, everybody does things that are dangerous. Race car drivers love to drive cars and go fast because it's in their blood, but they face the risk of death. Police officers do what they do, and look how dangerous their jobs are.
Right.
When anybody went inside of that house, they would leave and they would have symptoms. And they didn't know when those symptoms would arise and how serious they would be. And that was remarkable.
And that leads me to my next question. You boarded up the home. You boarded yourself in, locked yourself in, inside this home in Gary, Indiana. And it's not like your standard Ghost Adventures episode where you have access to all of this equipment that you could have used, but actually you keep it in a very simple form. It's just static stationary cameras in each room. It's you inside with a handheld camera, and that's it. And actually, your way of confronting this, you were very quiet. You weren't in your standard self asking questions. You were just letting it show itself, which it did.
The home affected me, and you're right. In my show, Ghost Adventures, I'm very much in control. I'm very energetic. I'm in control. This was the opposite. When I was there, I felt vulnerable for once. I felt scared, you know. And when the particular event occurred to a young girl that entered into the home.
The Demon House is described as a portal to hell. And it no longer exists in Gary, Indiana. You'll go out there, and I'm assuming it's just now a dirt lot that people stop by. So, in effect, do you think by bulldozing the home that you got rid of the portal to hell?
In the exhibit behind me, there's a staircase, and underneath those stairs is dirt. When police and Child Protective Services were investigating this case because of the children with bruises on them being beaten, they found a series of unusual objects. Panties, two children's socks, other objects, a fingernail that's still missing in the dirt. And when they found that, the exorcist, Father Mike Maginot, concluded that a particular person, who I believe I know who that was, put a curse, had knowledge of some dark religion to conjure something in that home or further empower it. And I believe by destroying what that living man created in the house, that if I destroyed that, that would be a first step into battling these forces. Do I think demolishing the house destroyed demons and killed them? No, not at all. But this was my first attempt to battle these demons, because anytime anybody walked into that house, 9 out of 10 of them were affected. So I had to destroy it. I could have kept it open. I could have made another film. I could have made a TV series off the house. I could have done this and that.
Yeah.
The house had to be destroyed,
right,
because I was affected by it. I know what I have now with my eyesight was caused by me spending time in that house and seeing what I saw and suffering a migraine headache right after I saw it. It's not a coincidence.
I know that it affected you emotionally and physically, and maybe you won't be the same after this, or maybe time will heal. We'll have to see. But will you no longer tackle a project like this because of what happened?
No, I will, but now I'll be more prepared. I was able to experience something that was extremely complex and powerful. And as an investigator, I learned from this case. And it was a powerful story that I'm happy can be shared with everybody.
Demon House.
Thank you, Jeff.
It comes out this week. It is an incredible documentary film, certainly a huge accomplishment, and something that I've never seen before. Very credible people validating this evidence and the stories that are collected over the years that made this house infamous.